Picture this. A massive corporate thriller with $20 billion on the line, secret backroom negotiations, and the future of the world's most popular sport just hanging in the balance. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking an absolutely unprecedented crisis currently engulfing world football. It's a civil war pitting the sport's biggest governing bodies against each other in a high-stakes power struggle that honestly reads way more like a Hollywood script than your standard sports headline. Okay, let's dive into this by looking at a truly extraordinary piece of correspondence. UEFA actually fired off a formal legal preservation notice directly to FIFA. They're explicitly warning them not to destroy, alter, or shred any evidence regarding a highly controversial and supposedly scrapped commercial deal. It's a massive legal warning shot across the bow. Section 1. A shocking legal threat. So even though FIFA's president, Gianni Infantino, officially bowed to pressure and killed this massive commercial plan, UEFA is absolutely not backing down. They are actively threatening lawsuits, arbitration, and regulatory complaints. And to show you just how aggressive this has gotten, UEFA is dangling a very specific legal sword over FIFA's head. It's called spoliation of evidence. Basically, this means that if FIFA just routinely deletes emails, shreds physical files, or somehow loses any electronic data connected to their secret negotiations for this deal, it could be viewed as a serious, potentially criminal act. UEFA is making it crystal clear. Regular data retention policies no longer apply. They want a total digital freeze. And they didn't exactly ask nicely either. They slapped FIFA with a ticking clock ultimatum of exactly 5 business days to comply. Think about how aggressive this is. FIFA must not only preserve everything and put it in writing, but they also have to officially name the specific executive inside FIFA who's overseeing this compliance. Oh, and they have to confess right now if anything has already been deleted. It's a legal posture completely designed to corner FIFA's leadership. Section 2. The $20 billion plan. So the crucial point is what on earth triggered this level of legal warfare between two organizations that are supposed to run the exact same sport? Well, it all centers around a highly secretive commercialization project introduced by FIFA and one mind-boggling number, $20 billion. That was the proposed valuation of a brand new commercial subsidiary FIFA wanted to spin up, called the Football Future Enterprise, or FFE. The plan was to package their most valuable global assets into this massive new entity. Let's impartially break down the actual financials of this FFE deal. FIFA planned to sell off a 20% minority stake in this new entity to private investors. This was reportedly going to be anchored by an investment firm founded by Joshua Kushner. In return, FIFA claimed this sell-off would generate up to $4.2 billion, and the sweetener for the 211 global member associations, a one-off payment of $20 million each, plus a huge bump in their base funding for the next cycle. Now, FIFA framed this as a brilliant, progressive strategy to redistribute vast wealth to every corner of the footballing globe, but critics, they saw it as a shadowy privatization of the sport, essentially selling off the soul of the World Cup to private equity. Section 3. Football revolts against FIFA. The second this plan came to light, it triggered an immediate, furious, and highly coordinated global backlash. And I mean global. It forced Gianni Infantino into a really dramatic and, frankly, humiliating public U-turn. UEFA rallied all 55 of its associations to unanimously threaten a complete boycott of FIFA competitions. CONCACAF jumped in, condemning it as egregious, poor governance. You had major national federations like the Dutch and German FAs publicly declaring they'd completely lost confidence in Infantino. It even sparked internal chaos, with FIFA's own senior advisor, Carlos Cordero, resigning in protest. Faced with this unprecedented worldwide mutiny, Infantino had no choice. He scrapped the FFE project. Which naturally leads us to a massive question. If Infantino completely backed down and the $20 billion deal is officially 100% dead, why is UEFA still demanding documents and threatening to sue FIFA? To answer that, you have to understand that this fight isn't really about one botched commercial deal. It's the boiling point of a deeply rooted historical war. Section 4. 8 years of bitter feud. Let's move to see how this builds over time. To truly get the current crisis, we have to look at the intertwined timelines of two of the most powerful men in global sports, UEFA President Alexander Ceferin and FIFA President Gianni Infantino. They actually both rose to power in 2016, but things soured fast. By 2018, Ceferin was already publicly accusing Infantino of trying to sell the soul of football. Fast forward to 2021, and Ceferin successfully battled the breakaway European Super League, cementing his reputation as the defender of traditional football structures. The tension publicly flared up again in May 2026 when Ceferin led a massive walkout of European representatives at a FIFA Congress. Why? Because Infantino arrived over 2 hours late after a diplomatic tour with Donald Trump. And now, in August 2026, all this simmering animosity has just exploded over the FFE deal. Underneath the personal rivalry, what we're really witnessing here is a fundamental ideological war. On one side, you've got Ceferin and UEFA. Their argument is that they're defending the traditional European football model. They prioritize sporting merit and argue fiercely against expanding competitions, citing the need to protect players from an already congested, exhausting calendar. On the exact opposite side, you have Infantino and FIFA. Their primary goal is opening up global competitions to private sector investors, absolutely maximizing commercial value, and heavily redistributing that wealth to smaller nations among their 211 global members. So it's traditional preservation versus aggressive global commercial expansion. Section 5. Infantino's fight for survival. Because these ideologies have now violently clashed over the $20 billion deal, the fallout has shifted from a boardroom dispute to an all-out battle for survival. Infantino is literally fighting for his political life ahead of the upcoming FIFA presidential election. Now, he was originally expected to cruise in and run completely unopposed for a third term, but the landscape has completely fractured. Don't get me wrong, Infantino still has significant support. He's got over 200 letters of endorsement and the very public backing of the Qatar FA. But powerful figures across Europe and the Americas are actively discussing a vote of no confidence. They want a challenger. And the names being floated are heavyweights: PSG President Nasser El-Khelaifi, CONCACAF President Victor Montagliani, and Asian Football Confederation President Salman Al-Khalifa. And this brilliantly illustrates just how vicious the political maneuvering has become. Look at UEFA's recent statements. They actually weaponized Infantino's own words against him. They went back and directly quoted his 2016 campaign promises about transparency, specifically the quote, "The money of FIFA is your money. It's not the money of the FIFA president." UEFA then followed that up by stating he has entirely failed to deliver on those exact promises, calling his recent actions a shabby, backroom, opaque deal. They are using his own foundational campaign platform to demand a fundamental review of FIFA's entire governance structure. So this leaves us with a pretty profound final thought for this explainer. As these legal ultimatums expire and the political maneuvering for the presidency accelerates into overdrive, we have to ask, can world football actually survive this civil war intact? And when billions upon billions of dollars from private investors are suddenly placed on the table, who ultimately owns the future of the sport you tune in to watch every weekend? Is it the traditionalists, the global expansionists, or simply the highest bidder? The resolution to this conflict won't just decide who sits in the FIFA president's chair. It is absolutely going to dictate the structural and financial reality of global football for decades to come.